Hey, what's up, guys? I had to go back to my mother's house today after she, passed away like a month ago. Oh God, it's horrible having to go back. Every time I go there, I feel very sad. I brought my mother's longtime elderly boyfriend a puppy to cheer him up today because he's, heartbroken as well. And so while I was there, I found these on my mother's shelf and I remembered again how much she loved them. So I brought them home and I wanted to share them with you. And what these little grotesque little things are, let me show you. They're actually called hunchback figures. And here's an example of one. These are antique, and you can see like they have little hunchbacks. And my mom used to flip out over these when I was a kid. These little grotesque little figures, she used to go wild. Whenever there was an eBay auction for one of these, there was actually somebody from Italy who would always like go into bidding wars with her. I'll never forget his name. I think it was Raffet. And Raffet, back then, you could tell who was bidding against you. eBay no longer lets you see who you're bidding against, but Raffet was always like fighting it out and duking it out with my mother over these little hunchback figures. These are really beautiful, even though they're grotesque. They're quite interesting. You can see the details on them. It's like very, very well painted, well executed. Most of these were made in Italy and in Germany. And one of the main producers of little hunchback figures was an Italian ceramicist who was around from the 1800s to the early 20th century by the name of, I believe it to be Ginori or Ginori, Ginori. And when my mother would see one of these figures, she would be like, oh, God, I hope Raffet doesn't bid on it. And I made friends with Raffet. It turns out I sort of bargained with him. So I would have ceramic pieces. He used to collect Italian ceramics, and I made sure I collected enough of it so that he would want a piece from me to buy from me. And I'd say, Raffet, do me a favor. His name was Raffaello. He was a very nice guy from Italy, and he spoke English like fluently. And I text him, well, not text him, but type to him like an email. And I'd say, Raffaello, do me a favor. My mother wants this figure. Please don't bid on it. I'll do you a favor. I'll give you a huge discount on another type of piece you might be interested in. And so every time one of these little figures would pop up, I would contact Raffaello and say, please let my mother just have it. I'm begging you. Because the two of them would go at it and drive the price up to like an enormous price. It was like outrageous. And so I'm going to tell you a little about hunchback figures. Now, I'm from Queens, New York. I grew up on the Brooklyn-Queens border. My mother was born in Brooklyn, born and raised. Her family all came from Naples, Italy. And they brought to this crazy tradition. Well, not crazy, but it's like really superstition. They brought a superstition back when they came to America with something to do with luck. And so that's where the hunchbacks come in play. Now, when I was a little kid, my mom would always have what I called a red pepper hanging from the car mirror. It would be dangling, and I thought it was a red pepper. I had no idea that it was a horn. And she'd say, oh, it wards off evil and gives you good luck. And I just really thought it was strange to see a red pepper hanging from the rearview mirror. She had other little superstitions. She had this ugly, ugly a pair of blue eyes, like as a charm that she'd wear around her neck. And it was like eyeballs. And I'd say, Mom, what the hell is that? And she'd say, oh, it's the evil eye. I'd say, but Mom, why would you want to wear something evil around your neck? And she'd say, oh, no, no, that's something that wards off the evil eye. So nobody can give you the evil eye and it gives you good luck. And I just thought it crazy. And I just thought it funny and silly. She also used to have a half of a red pepper horn, the red pepper, and the other half was a guy with a top hat and a hunchback. And I found out today by doing research, his name was Il Gobo. And he was actually something that Italians used to carry around as a good luck charm. And they would rub his humped back or hunchback for good luck. Now, to the Italians, the little hump back it means abundance. So when you rub somebody who has scoliosis of the spine or some sort of humped back, it means that they had abundance in that back area that was like swollen. I know I can't even like talk right now. It's like insane to explain this. But yeah, so basically, um, the Il Gobo character was basically growing up in New York, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Bronx, Staten Island. You would see all the old school Italians walking around with little hunchback charms, things dangling from their mirror, things on keychains, with the red pepper and the blue eyeballs staring back at you, the evil eye. Um, and it was sort of funny for me as a kid because the superstition was weird to me, but I just laughed at it. But hey, beliefs are beliefs, right? So it is actually interesting because Il Gobo, you'll see the figure of Il Gobo who had a top hat with the big hump on his back. You'll see it all across Gothic churches. Churches across Europe, especially Italy, and it was considered a lucky omen to have these little grotesque little people all throughout architecture all over Europe back in the, like hundreds of years ago. So you'll see a lot of that if you go to Europe. Now, during the 19th and early 20th centuries, a person with a spinal curvature was considered a good omen, and gamblers back in those days would believe that touching their back, if they saw one at a casino, like somebody with a hunched back, they would just walk up to them and start rubbing the hump on their back for good luck. And my mother believed that too. So, for example, when my mom was, like into like gambling, like she wasn't a gambler, aholic, but once in a while she'd go to the bingo parlor and she dragged me along with her, and I hated it. It was boring to me, and and I would have rather watched paint peel. Now I wish I can go back in time and just be there with her one more day to do it. But she'd be stamping her bingo cards, and she'd have Il Gobo with her, her little hunchback, and she'd start rubbing his back, and while she was playing, and all of a sudden I'd hear her scream out bingo, and she'd win the jackpot. And it was like almost all the time she would rub her little like her little good luck charms. And I saw my grandmother, she would lay out like several good luck charms across the table when she was playing bingo too. It has something to do with Italians from, like, I think New York. I don't think you'd see this with Italians in Missouri or in Alabama. It was something to do with the old school Italians that came from Italy to New York. They brought it mostly to New York. I don't think they brought it anywhere else. This type of weird, I don't know, superstitious, good luck, lucky charm type of thing. But yeah, so that was something that I grew up with. Now, let me show you some of these figures. These are quite old, and you can see the workmanship on them. It's quite unusual, nice and colorful, really, really, really well made. Most of them aren't marked. Either they're made in Germany, most likely, or Italy. Again, by Ginori or Ginori. And Raffaello right now is probably like cursing my mother because he couldn't win these figures on eBay, because my mother had to make sure she won them. Otherwise, oh my goodness, she would be in a really bad mood if Raffaello beat her out on one of these figures. This one is quite creepy. It looks like a grown man that's a baby. Look at that. Isn't that quite weird? This guy has a big schnoz, and he's again another hunchback figure she had for many, many, many years, probably German or Italian. And there's his humpback. I'm gonna actually rub it for good luck right now. I could use some. And I think this one was her favorite. It's a hunchback playing a guitar, and this is actually Il Gobo for sure, because you see the top hat. He's wearing like a dapper outfit. And let me try to get, yeah, look at the detail on that. Isn't that outrageous? And look at his hump. That is like, wow, right? This one is marked Germany, but the rest of them, again, probably Italy, Germany, and Raffaello. Again, he used to duke it out with my mom over these little figures until I came up with some kind of way to stave him off so my mother can win these figures. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys all soon, and take care.